Notice how a simple phrase has crossed generations almost like an absolute truth. 12/8. For many people, especially after the age of 60, this number has become a health stamp, almost a seal that everything is fine. When the blood pressure is not exactly there, 12/8, an immediate discomfort arises, a silent worry, even when the body shows no clear signs of trouble. And it is exactly here that a dangerous confusion begins. We start to value isolated numbers more than the actual functioning of an aging organism. Maybe this has already happened to you. You measure your blood pressure, see a value different from what you expected, different from the famous 12/8, and even if you feel fine, something bothers you. You think, am I at risk? Is something being neglected? I see this every day in clinical practice and in the messages I receive here on the channel. This anguish does not arise from nowhere. If you chase 12/8 after 60, you need to see this. It arises from an old idea that there is a perfect, universal pressure valid for all people and all ages. But current science shows something very different. Aging is not a defect of the body. It is a natural process of adaptation. As the years go by, the arteries lose elasticity. Imagine a new, flexible hose that expands easily when water flows through it. Now imagine that same hose after years of exposure to the sun. It continues to function, but it is stiffer. Something very similar happens with our arteries. They continue to carry blood throughout the body, but with less capacity to expand with each heartbeat. This changes the way blood pressure behaves. Moreover, the very pressure control system changes with age. The body has sensors called baroreceptors. They function like small blood pressure thermostats, quickly adjusting heartbeats and the caliber of blood vessels. With aging, these sensors become less sensitive. This is not a failure. It is adaptation. The body begins to operate in a different balance. And when the balance changes, the concept of normality also needs to change. That's why today medicine no longer speaks of a single ideal blood pressure for all elderly people. What exists are safe reference ranges, which need to be interpreted alongside symptoms, health history, and individual risk. And here I speak with authority as a pharmacist, biochemist, and health educator. Two elderly individuals of the same age can have completely different bodies. One may be active, walk well, have preserved muscle strength, and good autonomy. Another may be more fragile, with less physical reserve and a higher risk of falls. Applying the same rigid blood pressure target for both is not care. It's a dangerous simplification. When we look at systolic pressure, the higher number on the device, it is expected to increase with age. In many elderly individuals, slightly higher values are necessary to ensure good blood circulation to the brain. Think of it like a pump delivering water to a higher floor of a building. Sometimes it takes a little more force to make everything work well. The problem is not this adaptive increase. The problem arises when the pressure remains elevated for too long, persistently increasing the real risk of stroke, heart attack, and heart failure. And here I need to be very clear with you. Controlling blood pressure remains essential. Uncontrolled high blood pressure over the years causes silent damage. It increases the risk of stroke, heart attack, and heart overload. It also accelerates the development and progression of chronic kidney disease. The kidneys are extremely delicate filters. High blood pressure gradually damages these filters, accelerating the loss of kidney function. Controlling blood pressure protects these organs. The difference is that today we understand that control does not mean forcing the same numbers for everyone. It means protecting intelligently, safely, and individually. That's why many international guidelines have started to work with reference ranges, rather than a single magic number. For many elderly individuals, a systolic pressure around 120 to 140 is often considered adequate, as long as the person is well, without dizziness, falls, or signs of poor circulation. Values consistently above 140 deserve attention. But at the same time, very low pressures, especially when forced with medications, can also cause problems. And here comes an essential point that almost no one explains. Diastolic pressure, the lower number, the 8 in 12/8, cannot drop too low in the elderly. When this number drops below 60, there may be a reduction in blood flow to the brain. It's as if energy arrives with difficulty. This can cause dizziness when standing up, blurred vision, weakness, mild confusion, and falls. And a fall at this stage of life can change everything. It can mean fractures, hospitalizations, and loss of autonomy. Many people end up depending on someone else forever. Therefore, lowering blood pressure without considering symptoms can cause more harm than good. Before continuing, let me ask you something important. If you enjoy health content and are not yet subscribed to the EDU Health Tips channel, subscribe now and activate the notification bell. Also, leave a like, because this helps this video reach more people who need this information. And if you want to follow shorter content, quick tips, and a bit of my daily life, follow me on Instagram. Now, continuing. It is also essential to differentiate between two groups that are often put in the same package: elderly individuals without a diagnosis of hypertension and elderly individuals with a diagnosed hypertension. They should not be approached in the same way. In those who have never had hypertension, small increases in blood pressure may be part of natural vascular aging. In these cases, the focus is usually on monitoring, observing trends over time, and prevention, without immediately resorting to medication if there are no signs of risk. In contrast, for elderly individuals with diagnosed hypertension, blood pressure control is even more important. It is this control that reduces the risk of stroke, heart attack, heart failure, and worsening kidney disease. The difference is that this control is now done with more intelligence and less rigidity. Robust, active, and asymptomatic elderly individuals can tolerate lower targets. Fragile elderly individuals with a history of falls or dizziness need more caution. The target is not the same for everyone. The goal is to protect vital organs without compromising balance, mental clarity, and quality of life. Here comes a key concept that I make a point to explain well. Fragility is not age. Fragility is physiological reserve. It is the body's ability to adapt to changes without suffering serious consequences. An organism with good reserve tolerates variations in pressure. A fragile organism does not. Ignoring this is one of the most common mistakes in the treatment of blood pressure in the elderly. If you experience frequent dizziness, a lightheaded feeling when standing up, falls, unusual fatigue, or mild confusion, this should not be treated as just a part of aging. Even if the numbers on the device seem good, the body may be signaling that something needs to be adjusted. The ideal pressure is one that protects the heart and brain without stealing autonomy. It is also essential to talk about the correct way to measure blood pressure. Measuring right after stress, pain, discussion, or after a bad night's sleep often generates transient spikes. Blood pressure responds to emotions, sleep, and worries. A single isolated value measured once does not define disease. What matters is the pattern over time, measured calmly and interpreted correctly. With aging, the response to medications also changes. The liver and kidneys begin to metabolize drugs differently. Doses that worked well years ago may become excessive. Using multiple medications at the same time increases the risk of adverse effects. Therefore, adjusting doses or even reducing medications, when done with medical criteria, can be more protective than simply intensifying treatment. This is not negligence. This is modern person-centered medicine, and lifestyle remains a fundamental pillar. A balanced diet, adequate water intake, safe physical activity, quality sleep, and stress management help stabilize blood pressure and reduce dangerous fluctuations. None of this replaces medical supervision, but all of it strengthens treatment and protects the body over the years. The central message here is simple yet powerful. The goal is not to chase perfect numbers. The goal is to protect what truly matters: heart, brain, kidneys, balance, autonomy, and peace of mind. Living hostage to the blood pressure monitor can be as harmful as completely ignoring the values. Perhaps the most important question is not just, what is your blood pressure today? But rather, how are you feeling? Are you safe when walking? Is your mind clear? Do you maintain your independence? And of course, cross-reference this with the blood pressure values. The true ideal blood pressure in old age is one that preserves quality of life. If this explanation brought clarity to you, think about how many people close to you live insecurely, trapped by numbers, without understanding their own bodies. Sharing correct information is also a form of care. So share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Leave your comment down below telling me, have you ever felt anxious because of the 12x8? I want to know your experience. And if you want to keep learning about health, click on the videos that are appearing on the screen now. I'll be here, but I continue with you on this health journey.